All right, good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Thank you so much for coming. Oh, I don't need these right now. Thank you so much for coming. It's been a while since, so I've been teaching a lot of the virtual classes for us at Light and Soul. So if you're free at home and you have some nice space outside, or you want to just practice in the comfort of your own home, um, Tuesday mornings, Wednesday evenings, I'm teaching some classes. Melissa has been wonderful in teaching a lot of our community classes. We've been trying to alternate, but she's been taking the bulk of it, and I appreciate that. But you got me today, so thank you so much for still coming out. And it's really a pleasure to see everybody. We're gonna do a little bit of everything this hour. We're gonna kind of work from the top down. So we'll be starting on a seat. So if you'd like, I think everybody's got a block. Maybe you grab a block, rest onto your or sit onto your block here. If not, you can just sit right onto the mat. All right, peel away any flesh from your sit bones. Rest in a way that feels comfortable to you. Maybe you're just crisscrossed at your ankles or your heels. Maybe maybe you want something a little bit more open and the soles of your feet are touching. All right, whatever feels good to you. And take a moment here. Once you're settled, you don't feel locked up in your knees. All right. Start to maybe drop the chin and make some circles here with the shoulders. You can close the eyes if you'd like. Maybe just let the hands rest onto your thighs. And if you went one way, maybe take them the opposite way. Maybe even just roll one at a time. Notice if you slept weird and you have a little bit of a stiff neck or tense and you're tense in the shoulders. When it feels comfortable to pause, drop your chin again to your chest. And then as you inhale, take a nice slow breath. Take your right ear over your right shoulder. And then exhale, chin back to your chest. Inhale, take the left ear over the left shoulder. Nice long breath. And then again, nice long equal breath. Exhale, chin to your chest. And let's just take that into a little bit of a flow. Moving at your own pace. And we want to kind of find something that's going to work for us for the entire practice. So we try not to take one breath quicker than the other. We try not to, unless we're working on a very specific breath, right? Increase that pace through our practice, trying to stay steady and consistent. And if it helps to maybe even give a count of 2 or 3 or 4 to each inhale and exhale, go for that. All right, when it feels good, maybe settle into stillness again. Maybe you take a nice full circle around. If that feels good, maybe one way and then the other. And then pausing in stillness whenever you feel ready. Press down into your sit bones, either feeling the ground or the block beneath you. Get taller in your spine, working your way up the vertebrae. Imagine counting each section of that spine. Lift through the back of the neck. And then draw the head slightly back so it's over our spine. Tuck your chin just enough so you're not lifting it. Move your jaw around. The eyes are closed. Nobody's watching, so don't worry. Look a little silly. Turn the corners of the lips up. Soften the space between the eyes. And just give yourself a scan. Notice where you may be holding any tension here. And then we'll all take a deep breath in. Exhale, sigh it out. Inhale. Exhale. One more time, deep breath in. Exhale. Feel the lips, taking the breath in and out through the nose. Let the tongue drop from the roof of the mouth. Let the teeth separate as we take that breath in through the nose, into the back of the throat. We create that ocean-like sound. As you exhale with the lips sealed, imagine fogging up a mirror. And then tuning into that sound on the inhales and the exhales. In yoga, we call this our Ujjayi breath. As we draw more and more awareness, more and more focus into the sound of that breath, we start to let go of any thoughts that or that pop up. Do your best to let go of anything behind you, any plans that lie ahead, or anything that you walked in with today. And then start to draw that awareness outward and start to listen to the sounds around you, maybe even turning the palms up and open onto the thighs or knees. If we're outside today, which most of us are, just notice the gentle breeze. Listening to the birds and the insects. The distant sound of traffic going by. Tuning into the energy of those around us. And then in these final few cycles, take one hand to your heart and one hand to the ground or your mat. It feels like a far reach. Maybe just both hands to your heart is fine as well. Tuning in to the heartbeat, grounding ourselves to the earth around us. As we set our intention for our practice this morning, and if we have trouble with finding an intention to set, maybe it's one of gratitude, just being grateful for a beautiful morning, a body that's healthy enough to step onto the grass and onto our mats and practice out here or virtually. And dedicate this practice to those who inspire us, those who need it most this morning or today in general. And then together again, let's join 3 deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale, sigh it out. Deep breath in. Exhale. One more time, inhale. Exhale. Right. Letting the eyes flicker open. We'll drop the hands alongside of us. If you feel the need to come off of your block, please, by all means, feel free to come down. When we inhale, let's take the arms up towards the sky. Look up towards your thumbs, and then exhale, hands to your heart center. Let's take a few more rounds of that, just starting to connect the breath with our movement. Right? Even pace of breath. Notice how you're feeling in the shoulders, the arms, and the neck, and the back. One more time. Exhale. All right, from here, let's take our, I'm gonna mirror you guys. Take your right arm wide. We're gonna have our thumb up, and now turn it down. Reach behind yourself as if you're going for your left hip, and then grab your right wrist with your left hand and give it a little tug over. So now we're pointing our left elbow out that way, right? We're opening our right shoulder, and I want you to just soften your right ear towards your right shoulder, and just notice what you feel. Other way. You got it. Again, if you have any stiffness in the neck, and you can always loosen up, right? If some of us are especially tight here in the shoulders, right? You may not, you may want to take the right hand maybe just to the sacrum here, back of your hand, small of your back. And then from here, we're going to keep the same angle of our head. We're just going to start to turn our gaze up towards the sky. All right, pause if you feel any resistance here. Breathe into any sensations. Again, looking back in neutral, left ear over the left shoulder, inhale. Exhale, look towards your left elbow. And again, pause when you feel resistance. Just notice what you feel. If there's any pinch or real discomfort, take it back. Don't go so deep. One more breath here. Exhale. All right, back to neutral. Release the arms, bring the chin to the chest. Give yourself a few rolls or a few moves in the opposite direction, just to let everything rebound. All right, and then coming back to neutral, whenever you're ready, let's take the left arm wide. Turn your thumb down. We'll reach for the small of the back. Again, tighter in the shoulders, maybe the back of your palm just plants to your sacrum here, and we lift the corners of our chest. If you can work that hand all the way to your opposite hip, we'll grab the wrist. We'll point our right elbow over to the right as we open up that left shoulder a little bit more. And now drop your right ear over the right shoulder. Again, just notice what you feel. You may feel tighter on one side than the other. Stay tall in your spine. Notice any rounding in the back. All right, and then again, let's draw the gaze up, just turning the gaze, getting a little twist in the neck. One more breath in. Exhale. All right, ear over the shoulder again, coming back to neutral. And then we're just going to turn our gaze towards that elbow, right elbow. Feel what you feel. Keep the lift of the heart, open shoulders. All right, ear over the shoulder again. Release the arms, let the chin drop to your chest. And again, just make those little movements to rebound. All right, if we're bound in our legs, let's straighten them out, shake them out, and then just give an opposite cross. If you're in any other shape, you can certainly stay in that way as well. You can stay in those straight legs if you want. All right, let's start to flow in some twists. So we're going to inhale, take the arms to the sky, look up towards your thumbs. Exhale over to your right. And just an easy twist, doesn't have to be anything very deep. Maybe the arms just gently drop alongside you. Inhale, take the arms up to the sky, look forward. Exhale to our left, switch. All right, and we're gonna find a little bit of a flow here. So I want you to use the core here to twist. And then as we start to get a little bit deeper, maybe those arms support just a little bit of a deeper twist at the base of your breath. All right, stay lifted, tall in your spine. Use props here if you need to, some assistance reaching the ground. All right, one more each side. Last one. All right, back to neutral. And then hands at heart center. All right, so it starts to warm up in the shoulders a little bit. I want you to take your arms wide. We're gonna spread the fingers nice and wide. And now start to make little, like if you're tracing with your middle finger, like tracing little dimes or quarters. Right. Soften the face, maybe even close the eyes because we're gonna be here for a little bit. We're gonna start to feel what we feel. Keep that motion nice and small, controlled. See if we can continue to move in those shoulders. So we're not just like, throwing those wrists around. About 5 more seconds this direction. 4, 3, 2, 1. I want you to pause. I want you to take it in big circles in the opposite direction. All right. Moving in nice, controlled movements, right? Nothing too quick. Feel what you feel, especially if we start to feel a little heat building up, right? Notice if we're starting to round in our back, stay nice and tall in your spine. Notice any clenching in the jaw or squinting in the eyes. Last 5, 4, nice job, everyone. 3, 2, 1, stop, shake it out. Nice job, that was a lot. All right. Take your hands to the knees here. Let's just start to take some seated cat and cow movements. So as we inhale, draw the heart, lift it up. Start to maybe draw the gaze up, ribs open. Exhale, round in our back, chin to chest, belly to spine, maybe even sitting back a little bit. All right, and again, just finding our own little pace, our own flow here. You can certainly take some rolls in the ribs here if that feels good. Moving around in the hips. And if you take anything different, maybe switch directions if that's appropriate. All right. All right, and then when you're ready, let's come back to stillness. Let's shift forward slightly. Let's let the legs release behind us. Let's find all fours and find our tabletop. Let's take a few more traditional cat and cow movements here. Dropping our belly, lifting our gaze. Exhale, round in the back, into your chest. And again, whatever feels good here. If you want to add some rolls around in the hips, if you want to move around in your shoulders or ribs, feel free to enjoy that. We'll take about 4 or 5 more breaths here. Maybe turn the fingers towards your knees, get a little stretch out of the wrists and forearms. All right, do what feels good for you this morning. Nice job. We'll go 2 more breaths. It is a cooler morning today too, so if anybody does feel like they want to slide into the sun, feel free to move your mat by all means. All right, and then when you're ready, when it feels appropriate, let's tuck our toes, let's lift our hips, downward facing dog. All right, Melissa may be modifying some of her postures today, all right, as should everybody in moving within your body. We always want to feel good and supported, strong in our practice. We don't want to feel like we're straining or doing something that feels impossible with our bodies. All right. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Take the feet a little bit wider too. Maybe a little bit wider than your hips. And bend your knees a lot. Lift your hips up. Shake your head yes and no. Make sure we're not holding the head up. As you soften in your knees, lift your sit bones higher to the sky. See if we can start to extend the backs of those thighs. Push especially into your pointer finger and your thumb as you drive those hands down to the ground, extend through those arm bones. Inhale high on your toes, roll forward towards plank, top of our push-up. And then we're gonna soften our knees to hover, shift back downward facing dog. Long arms, long spine, lifted hips, long legs. Let's take that 3 more times. Inhale, roll forward to plank. We're gonna hover our knees, shift back, downward facing dog. Take 2 more cycles just like that. High on our toes, roll forward plank. You got it. Exhale, hover the knees, slide back, down dog. 1 more time at your own pace, right? Don't feel like you have to rush. Keep those arms nice and straight, strong. Slide back. All right, from here, let's drop our knees, take a child's pose. Knees can come together and arms can be alongside of us, behind us if we want to breathe into that back body, or separate those knees wide, reach the arms in front of us. All right, here is a perfect place to rest at any point throughout our practice today. If you feel like you need that child's pose, that rest, come to this space. All right, this is also a good alternative if you are if you're taking off a downward dog. All right, when you're ready, tuck those toes again, lift the hips upward, downward facing dog. You got it. All right, we'll bend our knees, we'll look towards our thumbs, inhale, And now exhale, take little baby steps all the way to the top of your mat. Maybe come to fingertips when you need. Yeah, bend the knees when you need. Keep the feet separated, more than your hips, just a little bit more. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Soften your knees, take hands to your shins or those knees. Exhale, fold forward. Shift the weight towards your toes. Inhale again, hands to your shins. Think of reaching your tailbone back. Think of reaching your heart even more forward. And then exhale, get more of those ribs towards the thighs as you fold a little deeper. Let's go one more time. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale and lower. You got it. So with those feet separated, right, we're going to hold on to our elbows here. And then let go in the head, shake it yes and no. We're going to rock side to side, just shifting from one pinky toe to the other. And let that movement happen in the hips, right? So the arms will move naturally from that movement in the hips, but try not to swing those arms. Right? We want to feel that full weight of our upper body. We want to feel that deep hinge in our hips. You got it. Release what you got. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale and lower. Soften your knees, roll up one vertebrae at a time. Head and shoulders are the last thing to rise. And as we come to a nice tall mountain pose, we'll take the arms to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana, look up towards your thumbs. Exhale, nice wide arms, swan dive, fold forward, flat back, strong spine. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale and lower. Let's walk our hands, or plant our hands. Let's bend our knees, walk your feet back, plank. You got it. We're gonna take a few breaths here. Push into your pointer finger and your thumb again. Reach your heart forward. At the same time, draw your heels back, lift your low belly. Even your hips with your shoulders if you can. Notice if you're floating them up. There you go. 2 more breaths. Beautiful, everybody. Last one. All right. Drop your knees. Shift back, child's pose. You got it. We're going to stay on our knees. We're going to rise up. We're going to take the hands behind or up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, let's bend the elbows wide. Let's take a clasp of our hands behind us, right, if it's available. And then if you can bring those palms to touch, bring them to touch, extend those knuckles towards your heels. Keep the elbows soft so we can squeeze them towards one another. And then look up towards the sky. Draw your hips forward. 3, 2, 1. Shift back, hips to the heels. Take the arms to the sky. Inhale. And then exhale, child's pose again. All right, take the arms forward, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. All right, look towards your thumb, soften your knees, take a deep breath in. Let's step our right foot to our right thumb. Give yourself an assist if you need. All right, we're gonna drop our back knee, untuck your toes. Let's rise low lunge. Nice job. All right, and then just like we just did in our on our knees, we're gonna take the elbows wide, look up towards the sky, clasp the hands at the small of the back. Bring those palms to touch if it's available. Sink your hips this time a little bit. Notice if you're lunging past your toes or your ankle with that front knee, make an adjustment if you can. Squeeze the thighs in towards each other and then lift the back of the heart. 3, 2, 1. Release what you got. Lengthen tailbone down, reach up, inhale. Exhale, we'll lower down. All right, maybe taking your blocks here if you have them. Let's straighten out our front leg. Pop your toes towards the sky. Soften your knee so we're not locking it out. And then stay upright just for a moment. Draw your right hip back and just notice how that feels. Try not to lock your knee out, right? So give yourself just a little bit of wiggle room in that bend. Lift the corners of your chest. At the same time you reach your heart forward, draw the right hip back. And again, think more vertical, upright. 3, 2, 1. And now soften your elbows, fold forward. If it's appropriate, you may want to shift the blocks forward a little bit or your hands forward. If you feel like you want to stay more upright, stay more upright. And breathe. 3, 2, last one. All right, rebend your knee. Let's set those props aside. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, lower down. We'll slide back, downward facing dog. Keep going. Inhale. All right. Exhale. All right. Bend the knees, look forward, inhale. Exhale, we'll step the left foot to the left thumb. Right, give yourself an assist if you need. All right, we'll drop our back knee, untuck your toes, inhale, rise, low lunge. Lengthen through the back body, and then we'll bend the elbows wide, take a clasp behind us, awkward finger on top. Right, if you can bring those palms to touch, bring them to touch. Keep the elbows soft so we get a nice spread across the collarbones. And then let those hips descend a little bit. Notice again, if you're heavy into that front leg, maybe walk that front foot a little bit further. Lift the heart towards the chin, maybe look upward. 3, 2, 1. Lengthen tailbone down, release the arms, reach them up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, lower down. All right, we're gonna take our props again, if you have them, if you need them. We're gonna slide our hips back, and I want you to think vertical spine. So if you have those props, maybe even going tall here. Try not to lock out, little bend, left hip back, lifted heart. All right. Couple more breaths, you got it. Maybe extending just a little bit, maybe we pop the toes. Last one. And then we're gonna soften forward. I want you to think soft arms, soft elbows, they support a strong spine that is reaching towards your big toe. All right. The habits here are to lock out the knee, right? To look in and round the back. See if we can maintain that strong alignment with those props that we've got. And breathe. Last 2. Last 1. All right. Rebend, set those props aside. Inhale, we'll rise, low lunge. Exhale, lower down. Slide back, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. All right, rolling forward towards plank. We're gonna hang here again. So you always have an option to drop your knees here for maybe an alternating knee plank. Maybe both knees drop, right? If that helps, keep the low belly lifted. Maybe we just stay strong here. And if we are here, level out those hips just under your shoulders. Keep those arms strong, pressing into your thumb and forefinger, especially heart forward, heels back. 3, lifted belly. 2, 1, drop the knees, shift back, child's pose. You got it. We're gonna come back, rise onto those knees. Take the arms up towards the sky. And then exhale again, arms wide. We're gonna take a clasp behind us, or if it feels a little bit more comfortable, maybe take the backs or take your palms to the sacrum, pushing your hips slightly forward. And again, squeeze the elbows in towards one another. So you have different variations. So we have, this little bit of a camel prep variation, or hands clasped. Again, we'll lift the chest towards your chin, maybe look up. 3, 2, 1, release what you got, sit to your heels, lift arms to the sky, look up. Exhale to that child's pose. Nice job. Arms are gonna reach forward, downward facing dog. Inhale, look towards your thumbs, bend your knees, exhale, step to the top of the mat. Take a big step, take little steps, take a hop, whatever feels good to you. We'll inhale, lengthen halfway, heart forward. Exhale and lower down. Bend your knees, drop your seat, chair pose, Utkatasana. You got it. Now the feet can be separated if you'd like. The feet can be together if you'd like. Same with the knees. Try and keep everything tracking in the same direction. Imagine pressing to the pinky edges of your feet. So we're pulling the center of our mat apart, right? Get broader in your low back. And then once you've got those nice strong legs, think a little bit deeper, draw your hips back, heart lifts upward. Breathe 3, 2, 1. Push into the legs, press onto your toes, lifting your heels, reach up to the sky, straight legs, yeah. Inhale, and then keep those toes if you can. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Maybe soften the knees a little bit. We can stay on those toes as long as we can, and then when you're ready, drop the heels, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Plant the palms. Let's step back towards plank, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. All right. Maybe you just step your right foot to the right thumb. Maybe you float the right leg to the sky and take a big step forward. Whichever way you go, we're taking our right foot to our right thumb. You got it. Squeeze the thighs in towards one another, look forward, and now press into the ground, rise low or rise high lunge, crescent pose. Nice job. Straighten the legs. Drive the back heel down to the ground. Square the hips, still looking forward. And I want you to bring prayer hands overhead. Maybe hook your thumbs. Lift those fingers to the sky, drop your shoulders. Lengthen your tailbone down, engage your belly, think broad back, wide chest, and now bend that front leg, warrior 1. Doesn't have to be bent a whole lot, right? Keep the hips squared. If you feel your left hip opening, come back a little bit, square off, and breathe. Draw belly in. Breathe here, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open up warrior 2. So we're gonna face, body faces the baseball field here. We're bent in our front knee. Our right toe is pointed to the front. Our left toe is pointed to the side. We're opening that hip. Our shoulders are over our hips. Arms spread nice and wide. Beautiful. Right. I miss having a yoga friend. Let's do that. All right, turn the palms open, reach forward, peaceful warrior behind us. Extend your front leg in a nice long reverse triangle. And then re-bend your front leg. Let's cartwheel forward, frame it out. Inhale. Exhale, step towards the front of your mat. Fold forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. All right. Inhale, lengthen halfway, soft knees. Exhale and lower. All right, bend the knees, drop your seat, chair pose, Utkatasana. Again, you can go a little bit separated in the knees. You can keep the feet together as long as everything tracks forward, right? Make sure nothing splays wide. Push to the pinky edges of your feet. Think of splitting your mat in half, right down the middle. Wide through your back body and then sink a little deeper. Reach your fingertips forward. Draw your ribs in. Breathe 3, 2, 1. And now we're going to press high on our toes. And now drop your heels here, hands to your heart. All right, we're gonna bring the heels in, toes out. All right, our hands are at our heart. Hands are your choice, but this is just kind of neutral. All right, we're gonna work on our calves a little bit and ankles, right? I said we're working top to bottom. So we're gonna start to pop onto or high on our toes off our heels and then drop down. Lift up and drop down. So we're going at this little pace. We're going to take 10 of these and down. Got 7 more. Hold and down. Nice and controlled, maybe even giving yourself a count of 2 or 3. Break if you need. Sometimes you may do a dance, right? Especially some of us. I got real bad ankles. I broke my ankle walking to sushi with my daughter. It's intense. Yeah. I've always had bad ankles. I was a catcher through high school. So a lot of stress there. All right. And then we're going to do 10, kind of like rapid fire. 1, 2, 3. You got it. 4. Keep the heels in, toes out. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice job. Feet forward. Inhale, take the arms up. Wide arms, nice flat back. Fold forward. Lengthen halfway and lower. Nice job, everybody. Slide your right leg back. Squeeze the thighs in towards one another. Strong legs, root down, crescent pose, high lunge. We rise. Nice job. All right, engage the belly. We're going to straighten the legs, drive the back heel towards the ground, and now hands at prayer. Like Melissa just did, you may want to step in a little bit, shorten your stance so that we can comfortably square those hips and keep the heels down. All right, keep your tailbone lengthening. Stay broad in your chest, wide back, belly engaged. Bend the front leg. Doesn't have to be a big 90-degree bend. Just try and keep those hips squared, shoulders forward. Nice job, everybody. Notice if the front ribs try and jut out. See if we can hug everything in towards the midline. Last 3, 2, last 1. Open up warrior 2. So we go wide mat. We just turn the right toes out a little bit wide, bend the left knee towards your pinky toe, right ribs roll back, arms wide. You got it. Notice if the body lunges one way or the other, you can take a peek down to your left knee. If your left knee is more towards your toe than over the heel, maybe take your stance a little bit wider. Feel the weight shift to the back foot. Nice adjustments. And then we'll flip, reach, peaceful warrior behind us. Left arm reaches up and back. Now extend that left leg, reverse triangle. Get a nice stretch from the toes to the fingertips. Inhale. Exhale, bend the front leg. We'll cartwheel down again, frame it out. Runner's lunge, look forward. Step towards the top. Forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway and lower. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Nice job. So again, want to make sure those feet and knees track, right? Just as long as nothing splays out, push to the pinky edges. Imagine splitting that mat in 2. Tall spine, sink lower in the hips, hug your ribs in. 3, 2, 1. Push to your toes, lift to the sky, inhale, and then back to heart center. All right, this time we're going to turn our toes in, heels out. All right, your feet are going to want to fight to go back to even. So we try and keep what you got. All right, makes that controlled movement even more important. All right, so we inhale and then exhale, lift high, hold for a moment, and then come back down. All right, find that pace and move for 10. We're on grass, right? We're not on a super even field here, plane. So you be forgiving with yourself if you need to move and make an adjustment. If you do rock out of somewhere, that's okay. I'd be willing to smile and continue to move forward. Let's do 5 more like that with that hold in between. Last 2. Whoop. Last 1. I'm on like a sync here. And then we're going to do 10 rapid fire. All right, maintain what you got. Keep those toes in, heels out. Maybe we're halfway through. Last 2, 1. Nice job. Inhale, take the arms up, reset the feet to neutral. Exhale, fold forward. Lengthen halfway. Exhale and lower. Slide back towards plank. Downward facing dog. If anybody has a vinyasa or a back bend you want to throw into your practice, like an up dog or a cobra, feel free to add it here. Otherwise, just take a few breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Look towards your thumbs. Again, we can take that left or right leg up to the sky, or we could just take a step forward with the right leg. We'll rise crescent pose, high lunge. Right leg forward. Inhale, so we've been here before. Open out warrior two. You got it, beautiful. Lift the palms, reach forward, peaceful warrior behind us. Again, we'll exhale, straighten that front leg, reverse triangle. Inhale, both arms up to the sky. Right. And now exhale, arms wide. I want you to reach past your right toe. Like if your right toe was on a wall and now our right hand is reaching to slide down that wall. We're gonna take right hand either to a nice tall prop here, maybe to the shin. And as that right hand rests lightly, wherever it's gonna rest, lift through your right ribs as we extend the left fingertips up, up, up towards the sky. And try to reach up towards the sky rather than behind you, right? Yeah, that's it. So Carol, reach more towards me. There you go. Yes, you got it. Maybe even, especially if we feel like we're tighter in our shoulders and we're reaching backwards, we can't see our hand anymore. Maybe even reaching that arm overhead and think of spinning your right lung forward. Last two. Nice job, everyone. Last one. Rebend that front leg. Let's come up. Peaceful warrior, reverse. Exhale, cartwheel down. All right, so we're facing the front. We're in our runner's lunge. Inhale. Exhale, we're gonna step our left knee into our chest here and rise to stand. You got it. All right. Here we go. So we're gonna have a little fun here. We're gonna take our hands to heart center. We're gonna take our left leg. So here's the motion. It looks like this. We're gonna bend our right knee, send our left leg back, and our left arm goes forward, right arm goes back. And then we're gonna come back up. All right. So if so think of it here, left hand and left knee are connected. Right hand is at your heart, right? Think of it that way. And now we're gonna send our right arm, left leg back, bend your right knee, left arm forward. And you may just step your left leg back. You may even want to tap the mat. You don't even need to go for a big balance. And then come back and drag that foot, right? So maybe a slide and a slide back. Your foot doesn't even need to leave the ground. I'm gonna take two more, just like that. You can also, like Melissa's doing, play with a little bit more balance and add a little bit more intensity. Last one. Again, do what is available in your body. Nice job. Plant that foot, sweep the arms to the sky, shake it out, and then exhale, fold forward. Hang here, pedal the feet. Again, make sure that the knees aren't locked out. Bend your knees enough so you're touching the ground, right? We don't want to strain our low back by reaching for the ground. Right, inhale halfway, and then exhale lower. All right, step back one more time through plank, downward facing dog. Again, you have a choice to flow if that's in your practice. Otherwise, maybe a child's pose for a few breaths or downward facing dog, stay where you are. All right, two more breaths here. Last one. All right, maybe lifting that left leg or just step it forward, whatever works in your body. Maybe give yourself a big assist with that hand. We're gonna rise crescent pose, high lunge. You got it. Everybody's doing great. Give yourself a nice big smile. Inhale. Open out warrior two. We're gonna flip our palm. We're gonna reach forward. Peaceful warrior behind us. Inhale. Exhale, straighten your front leg. Reach back, back, back. All right, now we're gonna reach both arms up towards the sky. I want you to think of your left toes touching a wall right now. Now we're just gonna kick our left hip back. We're gonna bring our arms wide. Imagine sliding your left fingertips down that wall. And then with control, maybe with a prop like Melissa just did, or hand to your shin. Try not to lock out the knee, turn your heart. Now, Melissa's got her hand on her hip, right? That's one variation here for us with tighter shoulders. If we're reaching up to the sky, we can reach. If it's more of a reach back and we can't see, I want you to either take the shoulder or arm overhead. And then wherever we are, think of spinning your left lung forward. Beautiful, everybody. 3, 2, 1. Root down, reach back, peaceful warrior behind us. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel down. Let's face forward. All right, left side. Take a big breath in. Step to the top as we bring our right knee either in towards our chest, or if you found that you want to keep that toe to the ground, hands to your heart. Okay. Second time around is always easier. We know what's happening, right? We went through the craziness already on one side. Melissa's also got her foot on a prop here, right? That's another great variation that you can do. All right. So we're going to keep our right hand on our right, next to our right leg or on our hip. Left arm is next to our heart. All right. Inhale, we bend our left knee. Left arm, right leg go back, right arm goes forward. Exhale, back to neutral. And again, you can play with some balance here, or the toe doesn't even need to leave the ground. Do a little slide and then back. You got it. All right, working on the quads, working on the legs, working on the glutes. All right, a little bit of everything in the lower half here. We'll take a few more. Maybe you're moving through 3 or 4 more real nice flowy ones. Maybe you're moving through 2 real good, slow, controlled ones. Last one. Nice job, everybody. All right, we're coming back to neutral. Let's plant it down when you're ready. If you're still in the middle of one, finish it out. We'll take the arms to the sky, lift up. Exhale, fold forward. Lengthen halfway, and then lower. Separate the feet again about hips distance or a little wider. Maybe you take your elbows again and just rock side to side. You can always grab your big toes or rest hands to blocks. Notice if you're holding your head up, shake the head out. You got it. And again, those arms will move naturally as you sway the hips. All right, release what you got, bend your knees, lengthen halfway, and fold. Step back towards plank. Drop the knees, child's pose. All right, we're gonna rise up on those knees one more time. Now we're gonna take the arms up towards the sky, big breath in, push into the tops of your feet here, or tuck your toes. Exhale, you either go wide like we've been doing today, elbows wide, clasp your hands, or again, we can press to the small of our back, guide your hips forward. Any of us with an established practice and we feel really good going into something like camel, you can tuck your toes and touch your heels. Keep your heart lifted towards your chin, hips forward. If that's way too much, we're right here. 3, 2, 1. Nice job, everybody. Come back, support the low back. Inhale, take the arms to the sky. Sit to your heels. Child's pose. All right, we're all gonna cross our shins here. Let's make our way onto our backs. Actually, let's all turn to face that way. So this way we're facing the sun here as we wrap up our practice. And then let's rest onto our backs. You got it. Take a nice big breath as you inhale, nice big full body stretch. Let everything extend. Then give your knees a squeeze. Rock side to side or circles. Any motion that feels good here in your body. All right, and then let's release those knees. Let's plant our feet wide onto the ground with the knees pointing up. Feet are about hips distance, your heels are, you can flick them with your longest fingers. So they're not too far away, but they're wider than your hips. And then start to let those knees, as if they're windshield wipers, just kind of drop side to side. A nice easy motion. All of our bodies are different, so you may find that you may want to shift your feet a little bit differently. You may want to maybe wider legs or more narrow. Maybe let the arms go wide or bend them like cactus arms or field goal posts. It feels good to settle on one side and take a few breaths, settle, and then switch. If you feel even, let's come back to neutral. Let's plant our feet firmly onto the ground. And then slide as you lift your hips. Let's slide a prop, if you have one, underneath your sacrum. And we're just going to prepare for a little assisted bridge. If you have a full bridge in your practice or a wheel that you want to explore, feel free to explore that. Bring your heels just a little bit closer towards your sit bone. Make everything nice and even with those hips. Turn the toes in. So just like in our chair, we track the knees and toes evenly. And then as you rest your sacrum down onto the ground, maybe wrap your shoulders underneath you. Maybe your palms press to the ground. Maybe you grab your mat. Maybe you clasp around that block. And if you have the block, rest onto it. Maybe you even take your knees one at a time up to the sky, if that feels good. All right, whenever it feels appropriate, feel free to make your way down. Remove the prop. One more time, take a hand to your belly, hand to your heart, and windshield wiper the legs side to side. No rush, no rush. All right, then let's take a full body stretch. And then bring your knees in. Again, any motions, any shapes that feel good. If you're ready to wrap your practice here, maybe it's a happy baby that we find. Maybe we just hold the fronts of our shins or the backs of our thighs, soften your shoulders down to the ground. Bless you. Right? And don't worry about what anybody else looks like, right? We all live in our own bodies. Don't worry about looking like anybody else. When you're ready, give your knees one final squeeze. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale. Let's let everything go. Extend the arms alongside you. Turn the palms open. Extend the legs. Let the feet splay out. Let everything rest down to the ground. Let the palms turn open at your sides here. Opening the shoulders and the heart. Maybe move the chin around, the jaw. Maybe soften the eyes. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let everything go. Take one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. Come back to the breath. Back to your intention and your dedication. Invite small movements back into the body. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Take the arms up towards or up overhead. Maybe drop the head side to side. Balance the mind. And then whenever you're ready, bend your knees. Roll on to whichever side you prefer, resting in the fetal position. Keep the eyes closed. Soaking up this practice. And then when you're ready, in our own time, we'll make our way to a tall, comfortable seat facing the sound of my voice. We'll join the hands at heart center, keeping the eyes closed. The divine light in me honors the divine light in each and every one of you. Thank you so much for your wonderful practice this morning. Thank you for taking time to help to build this small but growing community. Thank you for your dedication to your practice and just showing up. We'll all join together with the sound of one Om to close out. Exhale, let everything go. Deep breath in. Take your thumbs to the third eye. Lift the heart. Inhale. Exhale, bow into your prayer. Namaste.